So it's official. Physical gaming is dead. So with Sony apparently moving away from physical games in 2028, I wanted to talk about something I care about quite a lot. Physical games. Not in a dramatic gaming is dead kind of way, because I do not really believe that. Digital games are not evil. I mean, I even buy digital games sometimes, especially during like Steam sales and stuff, and a lot of people do prefer them, and honestly I do get why. They're easy, you buy the game, you download it, and it's just there. No waiting for delivery, no swapping discs, no shelf space, no clutter. So I'm not here to act like physical games are perfect and digital games are terrible, but for me personally, physical games have always been a big part of why I enjoy gaming. There is just something nice about having the game there on the shelf. You can see it, you can pick it up, you can look at the cover art. And over time your collection starts to feel less like a pile of games and more like a little record of your taste. And when I look at my shelves, I remember different moments. Some games I bought because I loved the series, and some games I picked up randomly because the cover looked cool. And some games were cheap and I didn't expect much from them, but I ended up loving them and they sometimes became some of my favourites. And some are just weird Japanese games that most people probably walked past, but that's exactly why I wanted them. And that is what I love about physically collecting games. It gives games a bit more presence. With digital libraries, I do feel like everything blends together. You scroll through a list of icons, you forget half of what you own, and then you end up buying more stuff anyway. It's similar to the problem with Netflix, where you're sat there scrolling for 5 hours. I know some people struggle with their backlog, especially when they've got games on the shelf that they haven't finished, but for me, I just enjoy playing through all the games I own physically and basically trying to 100% them, because that's something I personally like to do. And it's helped me not chase all the newest releases. I can look at my own collection and think, actually, I already have something good here that I haven't played or that I want to do another playthrough of. I like to try and play with purpose and spend my money a bit more carefully, especially in this economy. And actually appreciating the games you already own instead of treating everything like disposable content, because gaming can get really fast now. There's like always a new release, there's always a sale, there's always new DLCs and new games announced. And there's always some online video or, a discussion that just makes you feel like you need to play this next big thing immediately. But physical games have always helped me, at least, step back from that and enjoy what I enjoy and use the money I've already spent. And buying physically doesn't automatically make you smarter with money or anything like that. It definitely does not. Collectors can waste a lot of money too. But for me, when I buy something physically, I feel a little bit more aware of it. It takes up space, it becomes part of my collection, and it's just harder to ignore. And that makes me ask whether I actually want it or whether I'm just buying it because it's new. And a lot of the time, I'll go to CEX and I'll see maybe 5 or 6 games that I pick up, and I normally walk out with 1 or 2 because I put the others down because I think I'm probably not going to play this, or at least I don't want to play it yet, and it's really cheap, so I don't need to pick it up right here, right now. I also love the ritual. Choosing a game from your shelf, opening the case, putting the disc in, and even looking at the spine on the shelf after finishing it. It is simple, and that's what I love about it. It makes gaming feel a bit more grounded. And when you love Japanese games especially, physical collecting becomes even more interesting, because there are so many niche, strange spin-off games, lower budget RPGs, old PlayStation titles, there's anime games, action games, visual novels, and the most random releases that you may have never noticed until you see them. And a lot of these games aren't even available on the PlayStation Store. And discovering games is harder now when the stores are filled with loads of AI slop. Now, I know that they have purged through some of these, but I mean, we've all seen how our accounts on PlayStation had no games displayed for at least a week, and there are still ongoing issues with playtime and stuff. So trying to use the store and find something you want, especially when you already own a lot of games, can take a lot of time. Also, something not everyone may know, there's a limit on the PlayStation Store for games you can wishlist. The limit's 100, which I think personally is terrible, because you can easily wishlist over 100 games. And I think what I'll miss most about physical games, especially for the PlayStation, is not just owning the disc, it's the whole culture around it. Game shops, which already barely exist in the UK as it is, second-hand shops, we have a few, but there's still not that many. But I'll miss seeing the collectors getting their pickups, finding something you didn't even know existed from someone else's collection, letting a friend borrow a game, trading in a game, and just building a shelf that kind of becomes your own little gaming history. And again, I know physical games are not perfect anymore, and a lot of modern discs still need updates, and some games aren't even fully on the disc, but the majority are still on the disc. And I know we've seen a lot of the new physical releases, I say that in a quotation, because they're literally just license keys in a box. Now, that's not really good, and if games rely on servers, the discs cannot save that forever. So I don't want to pretend like physical media fixes every preservation problem. It doesn't. But at least some games we can still hold on to and actually own. And I think that matters. It gives games a better chance of surviving outside of one storefront. And it gives players more options, and it gives collectors, researchers and fans something to hold on to. And for me, that is important. Because games aren't just products that I like to rush through, they are things I want to remember. They are worlds, art styles, stories, they are music, mechanics, ideas, and sometimes just very specific moments in my life that I can reflect on. And having a physical collection to make those memories visible, and that's why I still care about it. And I don't hate digital at all. And I don't think everyone needs to collect games. It's not for everyone, because physical games do make gaming feel a bit more personal to me, but they may not to someone else. So if physical PlayStation games really are coming to an end in 2028, which sadly they are, I don't think we need to panic. I don't think people should start buying everything out of fear, because that will just lead to wasting money. But as sad as it is, I think we do need to appreciate the current era we're still in while it's still here. You know, pick up the games you genuinely care about, because they are going to go up in price, sadly. And look after your collection. You know, play what you own, and don't let this whole thing become another form of FOMO. And for me, physical games are not about having the biggest shelf or the rarest items. It's about building a library that is full of things you love. And if this is really the direction gaming is going in, then I think that library is going to feel more special with time.